Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Hey, it's Coffee Ann on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us on Tuesdays, June the 3rd. How about that? It's June already. This is Joe Callahan. Let's say good morning to Ed Carew. Good morning, Ed Carew.
Good morning, Ed Carew. Good morning, Joe.
We'll say good morning to Linda Tebow.
Good morning.
And her balloon,
And
which is floating right near her. If you can watch on TV, online, yep, you can see the balloon. That's from the senior fair we had back in April. It's one of the last balloons to still have a little life left in it. It just will not fall to the ground. The helium is still holding up. It's doing very nicely. All right. First segment sponsor of the Coffee Ann program for today is the Carew Investment Group. Take it away, Ed.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Good morning, everyone. The Carew Investment Group, 765-8880. We've got some simple advice about investing. The truth is, there is no simple advice about investing. The old days of financial uptrends and downtrends lasting for days, weeks, and months are long gone. Sometimes trends last for only part of a day before changing direction, like almost every day. Investing is not an activity for those who can't take the time to study each twist and turn for the opportunity that it truly presents. Since 1987, we've seen them all, and we'll invest for you the same way we invest for ourselves. Carefully, very carefully, and it won't cost you a nickel to talk about it with us. So give us a call at 765-8880. Our office is conveniently located at 2190 Mendon Road, Suite 3 in Cumberland, Rhode Island. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, as we head into June here, it's the last month of the quarter.
Yes, it is.
And
how did you know that?
Well, I'm a pretty smart guy about these kind of things.
That's pretty obvious.
It's just pretty obvious. But, things were good last week, but companies keep warning, we're going to have to raise prices because of tariffs. Mm-hmm. And has anybody raised their prices just yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
They have to.
Is that
certain things, yeah.
Yeah. Is that affecting their stock or anything like that? Are people not buying because things have started to go up?
Hasn't affected much of anything yet.
Yeah, okay. All right.
It probably will, but
Yeah.
not yet. I think next quarter will be more telling about profits, from companies, because by next quarter they'll be having purchased items with tariffs, and they'll have to figure out how much of this can we eat, how much can we pass along, how much can we,
All right. Do you expect any more, as Ed put it, saber rattling by President Trump?
How long's it got left? Three and a half
three
years?
and a half years, yeah.
No, 3.5 years worth.
More constant every day kind of thing?
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, keep us informed on what's going on.
The chaos of the day.
The chaos of the day. So we get this story too, that CVS is planning on closing hundreds of their pharmacies.
Really?
Nationwide, yeah. 270 stores as part of an ongoing effort to realign the company's retail footprint. News of the closures was first announced in October of last year. The company also said it planned to open nearly 30 CVS pharmacy locations this year, and it previously shared plans to open smaller format stores in select communities. Smaller formats in quotes, so I don't know what that means.
What is
or what. So I don't know. And Rite Aid, is it Rite Aid? They plan on closing stores too.
They're bankrupt again.
Or is it Walgreens?
Are they?
Walgreens is closing some too.
Yeah,
Everybody's closing stores.
Do you think it's because they did too many? I mean, you know, and I get it. Like if there's a CVS, and well, then there's going to be a Walgreens across the street, and and
yeah, they overstored. They built bigger stores. They brought in all kinds of non-pharmacy items.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You can buy
which
anything.
They don't make,
yeah.
Yeah. Right. Which they don't make much profit on those grocery type items. They don't make a lot of money on that.
They don't. Oh, okay.
No. And they occupy space, and they take in a lot of, it takes in inventory. Although their inventories are pretty low. You go into the store and you find 3 bottles of shampoo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have like 24 bottles. I don't know how they
right.
must come in with a quarter of a case or something.
Yeah.
But and I'm not picking on any one company. I'm just saying all of them are
Yeah.
that way.
And then
They
then
just
they
don't-
all put in those little health clinics too. So that means they've
Yes.
got to pay for a nurse, to, to
yes,
be there
yes.
and stuff like that. Too.
Yeah, and that well, they went with minute
Minute clinics,
they started
minute
calling
clinics.
them.
Yeah,
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 right. Yeah, but they've got a lot of competition now.
yeah.
I mean, you've got acute care centers, everywhere.
They're everywhere.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, you didn't have those before.
No.
You mean like urgent care?
Urgent care.
that's
Yeah,
what I meant.
urgent care.
Sorry,
Yeah,
wrong
Yeah.
term.
yeah, yeah.
I just want to know if there was something new that I hadn't
Well,
seen.
but plus, like a lot of the big stores have pharmacies.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
So
they do.
Like a Stop and Shop has
Stop
their
and
own.
Shop,
Yeah,
Walmart.
yeah.
Walmart
Walmart has their
has.
own.
Foods, a lot of the stores
They
do.
have. So I think there's like
There's
a
competition
lot of
there.
competition.
Well, don't forget, there's also a lot of competition that Amazon delivers.
yes, yes.
They
they're
prescription
doing
drugs?
that now, too.
drugs.
Yes, they
of
are.
course, prescription drugs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
So
yeah.
Okay. Well, the other one I tried to find the story and I found it. Rite Aid, yes, says they'll be closing 300 stores,
Right.
more than 300 of its stores.
Yeah.
They filed for Chapter 11 last month. Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Newly planned closures are in addition to the more than 100 that Rite Aid announced last month it would close. Rite Aid currently has around 1,200 stores in operation. That's down about half the number it had 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, competition's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, we got a note that was called in, and so on a completely different subject.
Okay.
Completely different subject. On the international scene, they saw this. It was in the Providence Journal on June 1st. They got it from Reuters News. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth warned on May 31st that the threat from China was real and potentially imminent as he pushed allies in the Indo-Pacific to spend more on their own defense needs. The threat from China is real. China views Taiwan as its own territory and has vowed to, quote, reunify with democratic and separately governed island by force if necessary. Hesgeth says it would result in devastating consequences for the Indo-Pacific and the world. Do you see it as an imminent threat, like Reuters thinks it is, or is this?
I don't know how imminent it is.
Yeah.
They've made no secret that they're going to reunify Taiwan to mainland with China.
They've said that for years.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they will continue saying it, and they will eventually do it.
Do it. Yeah.
Eventually,
So
they'll
I
be
don't know
right.
how imminent it is.
It's imminent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You worried about it, Linda?
Well, I think you feel bad for the people in Taiwan for one thing.
Oh, yeah, they don't want to.
They don't want to be.
China's
They don't
rule.
want to be under China's rule.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right. Well, another thing you got to keep an eye on.
well, there's just so much going on. There's just so much going on in the
Got to
world
worry
today.
about Israel and Gaza. You got to worry
Yeah.
about the Ukraine and Russia. Now you got to
Yeah.
worry about this. And then we have that I'm going to say it. we have this lunatic out in Colorado using a makeshift flamethrower to light people on fire.
Really horrible.
Yeah.
horrible,
And I don't
horrible.
think anyone's died yet. 8 people have gone
No,
to
they
the hospital.
burns. Yeah,
But
yeah,
pretty severely, I guess.
Really?
And
yeah.
like,
And
wow.
I mean, they weren't doing it. I mean,
No, it was a pro-Palestinian. No, I'm sorry, other way around.
the
Pro-Israeli
for the hostages to release the
Yes.
hostages.
Rally, and
That-
he's the pro-Palestinian
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. Who's here illegally? They
Yes, and
tell
should
us.
have been,
Yeah,
should
yeah,
have been
yeah,
deported
yeah,
a couple
yeah.
of years ago.
Yeah. But you know what? Yeah. There's just no words. It was just
no.
a senseless thing that happened, and
And what they find? Another 8
yeah,
Molotov
Molotov. Oh yeah, he was
cocktails
planning.
in his car that
he was.
that didn't like.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and
Going to do
he.
some serious damage.
You know, it's, the people there were just protesting peacefully.
Well, yeah.
You know,
and if you're not,
if you don't
agreement-
agree, put a sign up.
or
you
don't,
know,
go, to
so-
the, don't
or,
go to the rally.
or don't go. Right? Let them be. There's no reason for that.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know. It's crazy.
it is.
All right, back here closer to home, this is something that makes you just go, And it happened in Lincoln. And so a woman's facing DUI charges, all right? There's a serious crash that happened on Jenks Hill Road on Monday night at 7 p.m., all right? The vehicle was driven by a 22-year-old woman, Shirley Pineda. They were 7 people in the vehicle at the time of the crash. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't normally see that, but maybe they, okay.
It's been a big old Chrysler.
I think
Yeah,
it's
because
sort of
I
big.
I think there's a limit to how
big
many people you
car.
can put in a car.
Well,
7 is too many.
That's right.
Yeah.
But but I did think back to in my little league days, we used to pile everybody into a lot into one
Yeah,
car
but
to
you
get
can't do
somewhere
that
fast.
anymore.
I know you can't. So there's 7 people in the car, including yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
and they crash and they went off the roadway and they hit a tree. So at the time of the crash, 4 of the 7 are juveniles. Okay, 3 of the minors were taken to hospitals for their injuries. 2 of the occupants, though, when they crashed, flee the scene.
Ooh. The plot thickens.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm like, wow. And then the other passengers that stayed, they're being uncooperative with the investigation. I'm like, wow, what else is going on
Yeah.
here? And why did the 2 people leave? 2, right? Yeah, 2. Why did they flee? It's right at
I bet we're going to find out why.
I don't know if we're gonna find out.
You don't
And
think so?
Well,
Well, not till you catch them.
No, not that.
well, that's when they're being uncooperative. Well, who are the 2 people that fled?
left, and why did they leave?
We're not telling you.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what people? What's those people running over there?
Yeah. And
We're not
why
gonna
did they
tell you.
Go
leave?
with them.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's I'm trying to form a hypothesis or a good conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy. Go for it, Joe. Go.
Well, here you guys take this illegal
What-
contraband,
what-
whatever it is,
Take
and
it.
make a run for it.
Run for it.
And we say we don't know
Yeah.
we don't know who they were.
I mean, but if they had so many minors there, and anyways, I don't think you can have more people than you have seatbelts in a car. So,
Well, it doesn't
Am I-
say what the car was.
I mean, if it's
maybe
one
it
of those
is an SUV.
SUVs that has the 3 seats,
Yeah.
but even at that, is it 7?
Yeah, you could get like 8.
8 in those? Okay.
Yeah,
all
3
right.
rows of seats.
3 rows.
Yeah.
3 rows. Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking driver, passenger, so 2, and then another row, like a bench seat. There's another 3, so there's 5, and then another row back there.
Yeah.
There's another
Yeah.
3, so there's
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
So you
Didn't
can't
say
fit
what the
7.
vehicle was.
I wish it did, but it doesn't.
When they say car, it's very you don't know
It's a little
anymore.
misleading.
Yeah, it is. Is it a car like we used to know a car? Or is it a
You know, I'm saying car. It actually just says vehicle.
vehicle? Oh, it says
Ah.
Oh, okay.
So
So vehicle could be one of those.
it could be anything.
SUVs, Yeah.
I mean, it could have been a truck,
Yeah,
a bigger
yeah,
truck, but
yeah.
yeah. But it doesn't say that. But it just when I heard Dave do the story this morning, I'm like, well, that's just odd. And
Yeah.
why would you never hear of the occupants who are not hurt in a crash run away from the
Yeah.
scene? Another good conspiracy theory: illegal aliens
Well, I was thinking.
well,
of
yeah,
that,
don't want
that's-
to don't want to
That
get
was
picked
a-
up.
That's a possibility.
Yeah,
So-
because they did just pick up a kid lately.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
in Milford,
Milford.
and
Yeah.
so okay, so.
Yeah. And
I hope that more comes out on this because it's just like I heard it this morning and just
Because
isn't that
inquiring
interesting?
minds want to
Wanna
know.
know. I
Want to
do wanna know what's
That's,
going
you're
on with
absolutely
this.
right, Ed. Yeah. And Joe will find out for
well, I
us.
don't know if I'll find out about it. Other things come up like the Red Sox are on again. So
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right, we're gonna take our first break here on the Coffee and program, but more is coming your way. So Ed, time for a second message from the Carew Investment Group.
Okay, thanks again, Joe. Good morning again, everyone. They say in business you won't last long if you don't know what you're doing. Well, if that's the case, we happen to must know a thing or two at the Carew Investment Group because we've been in business since 1987, helping people just like you with their investments. At the Carew Investment Group, we employ a conservative approach to client portfolios by using only the best quality companies available, many of which pay quarterly dividends. And we look for opportunities that we expect to go up in value, not every day, but over time. And we take our responsibility seriously and always place our clients first in any investment decision. If you'd like to know more or would like a free portfolio review of your current holdings, you can call Paul or you can call me at 765-8880. Our office is located at 2190 Menden Road, Suite 3 in Cumberland, and we'd love to meet with you and see if we can help you with your investing journey. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, thanks. The Coffee and program will continue. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
ON 1240.
Woonsocket educators send their warmest congratulations to this year's seniors from Woonsocket High School. The educators and community are intensely proud of your resiliency for how you persevered to earn your diplomas after the immense challenges laid in front of you over the past 4 years. Memories of your graduation will likely include caps, gowns, and friendships. The friendships you formed with your fellow students and faculty will burn for you, and we eagerly wait to see the positive influence you will have on this community. You will be remembered. Remember that education is a lifelong process, and the best investment you will make is in yourself, and then to have the wisdom and grace to take your gifts and pay it forward to the next generation. The Woonsocket Teachers Guild is happy to share in the excitement of the new Woonsocket High School graduates who expect to celebrate their day similar to other Woonsocket alumni who cherish this special time with their friends and family. We simply couldn't be prouder or happier for you.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked solid for weeks. But who can say no to a puppy, right? Oh, who's a good boy? Oh, who's what? Oh,
She needs to find extra vet techs to get those pups some extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen.
And this is Sarah Beth.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese,
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON Worldwide.
And it's Coffee In here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday morning. Joe Callahan here with Linda Tebow and Ed Carew. So what do you think about this? I saw the story yesterday in Providence that I guess it's their city council in a way to, I guess add money to this Providence city coffers. They were proposing a $2 per ticket tax on entertainment and like sporting events, whatever the AMP or the PPAC or Trinity would sell tickets to, instead of you paying $60 for the tickets, 62. And I'm like, when I first thought about it, not a bad idea. It's not that much. And if you're willing to shell out $60 for the ticket to see whatever you're going to go see, 62 is just about the same.
Yeah.
But as always, there's controversy.
Well, of course, yeah.
Providence Mayor Brett Smiley, who's always trying to look good in public, he's against it.
Yeah.
I'm saving you money by
Yeah.
being against this. So he's opposed to this legislation. It would but then there's more information. It would place a tax on any event in a venue with a capacity of 800 or more. So if you've got a small little theater, you only seat like 100 people, then it doesn't apply to you.
Yeah.
All right. So it's got to be a decent size place. All right. If it holds 800 or more, but only 300 show up, you still get the tax because you have the potential for 800.
Yeah.
Following me so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Free ticketed events and charities would also have to pay the tax. Now that I don't agree with. It's free for you to attend,
free.
but $2 because of the tax. So now it's not free anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that. The website golocalprov.com reported dozens of businesses, tourism, arts, and labor officials are all against this proposed tax, warning it would have an adverse impact on sport and entertainment venues. Okay. If you take out the part about the free ticketed events and charities, then I don't see an issue with this at all. But I don't live in Providence. Maybe it's a much bigger problem down there than I realize. Do you see it as a big deal, Ed? You go to shows at Lincoln, so would that bother you if tickets went to $62 instead of $60 to see ZZ Top?
No.
Right. It wouldn't have stopped you from going, right?
No.
Oh, okay. So I didn't think so either.
$2 doesn't seem like a lot, but I think what all the local people, the business people were saying, it might deter from people going, and they might decide to go into Boston instead, to go to shows instead of.
Or are they thinking,
Providence.
well, to take the family, I was going to say the circus, but the circus doesn't come around anymore. to take the family. Now it's extra $10.
Well, exactly, especially
and
like
now
you
we're not
know,
gonna go out to eat.
yeah, that you know.
I guess that's a
I
possibility.
think that's why the local businesses were against it,
Yeah.
and I guess that makes sense too.
But when I look at like the Providence Bruins, or I look
Yeah.
at whatever shows might be coming to AMP, Barry Manilow was
Yeah.
just there. I think it was a sellout, but I'm not positive on that. But anyway, if you polled everybody in the auditorium that night, if the tickets were $2 more a piece, would that have deterred you from coming? And I would say 100% would say no.
They're probably not. You're right.
Right.
People would, people that normally like to go to those things and can afford to go to. If they can afford $60, they can probably afford $2 more.
Right. And 60 is low, by the way.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
I know. Yeah. No. I know. I understand that. I haven't been to a
I don't want
concert in a
to
long, long
tell you
time.
how much I'm
but
paying to go see the Doobie Brothers and the Coral
Okay.
Reefer bands later on this summer.
Really? Yeah.
It's up over two.
It's okay, you can tell us.
It's up over $200.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
for one ticket.
so $2 more wouldn't
Yeah.
break the bank.
Yeah. Instead of 203, it's 205.
And
Fine.
when I listened to the president of the council, she had said, the thing is what.
Oh, the Providence City Council?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that it was like $2. A lot of people aren't going to care, but cumulatively, it's going to give us a lot of money and help ease the burden, the tax burden.
That's right.
In the city,
Mhm.
in the city, yeah.
But if you're giving out, if a free event is coming, I mean,
Yeah.
how do you collect the $2 tax?
Well,
when it's
I
supposed
think
to be
that's
a free
that's a
event?
little
That doesn't
it's
make
free.
sense.
How
Yeah.
do you?
I don't like the way it's worded.
I don't like the way it's
Yeah.
worded either.
I mean, I don't like the way it's proposed. Let's put it that
All right.
way.
Yeah.
If you want to charge $2 extra, charge the venue $2 extra per person, and let them incorporate it into the price. This way here, the patron doesn't feel like they're paying $2 more
Yeah.
for something for some tax, basically some tax.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
It
Yeah.
is a tax.
It's
It is. It is a
It
yeah.
is actually called the ticket tax bill.
Ticket tax bill.
So
yeah.
we're
Yeah.
not trying to sugarcoat it. We're not
No,
trying to
that's
say
what
it's
it is. Yeah.
What it isn't,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is.
And
So-
if you look at it another way too, is that just because they're in trouble with the budget, should the world, should everybody else that's going
Yeah.
to events have to pay?
But it also doesn't affect people that don't have to pay more if they're not going ever.
Right, exactly. If you don't go to those events
Yeah.
anyways,
I'm not paying any extra to the city for something I don't use.
I don't use, right, yeah.
It's the whole.
And I was watching that and wondering how that's going to play out. for
It's
sure.
the whole. It was big when cable TV started out and people were squawking about why am I paying for ESPN when I don't watch it
Yeah,
or any channel. Pick any channel.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Why am I paying for 415 channels when I watch 4?
Four.
right,
That's
exactly,
That's right.
exactly. And who has the time to watch 400 and however many? Right, exactly. People with a lot
And
of
we'll
time
give
on
you
there.
Hulu and ESPN free.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Great. It's great. Boy, since I started streaming, it seems like every show from the 60s and the 70s has their own channel.
I know, yeah.
Any
crazy.
program you want to see,
Yeah.
it could be streamed somewhere.
Yeah.
It's good and it's bad. You don't know where to pick. You don't know where to go.
Yeah.
All right. Other things moving on. Ed, not that it affects you, because you live in
I don't want it to
Massachusetts.
affect me.
But a bill to ban assault weapons in Rhode Island is up for a vote in the House Judiciary Committee tomorrow. That would be today, sorry. It prohibits the manufacturer, purchase, sale, transfer, and possession of certain assault weapons, including semi-automatic shotguns, rifles, and pistols. Now, the good news is current owners would be grandfathered in, allowing them to keep their weapons. If it passes the House, then it goes to the Senate where there's a companion legislation. But how do you prove that you're grandfathered with this? How do you have to
Should have a
carry
bill
around?
of sale.
You have to carry your bill of sale around with you all the time?
Well, if they ban the sale of them,
Yeah.
if you've got one, it's pretty obvious that you've already owned it.
Well, yeah, but what if you bought the gun 5 years ago? I don't have the bill of sale anymore.
Well, okay, you bought it 5 years ago.
But how do I prove that? If I have the gun and get pulled over, oh, you got a shotgun there, Mr. Callahan, and when did you buy it? Well, 5 years ago. Can you prove that? No, I can't. Well, then we're taking it from you. Do you see where I'm going with this?
I don't know what I don't know what the bill says.
Yeah. It just says you grandfathered in.
Yeah, it does. Until 26, I think, then you don't have to register.
Okay.
I heard that part of it, too.
I just don't know how you prove that. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I bought this in 2010.
Yeah.
When 2010 was 16 years ago now.
I'm sure you can look at the serial number on the gun. I mean,
Okay.
it's not something you can probably prove on the spot.
No, you
Right.
You're not going to walk
That's
around
what I
with
was
the bill
looking
of
for.
sale.
Yeah.
But if you look at the serial number of the gun and see when it was manufactured, then they can trace it back.
Is that something police have in their vehicle where they were able to trace the serial number of the gun from their car? Or would that have to go higher up?
I don't know.
I don't know what the police have in their car for that. Okay, well, it's moving along here in the in Rhode Island. So,
Yeah. No, we've had that in Massachusetts for several years now.
the ban on the assault weapons.
Yeah.
Okay, and now when you go to the shooting range,
Yeah.
do you bring along a whole host of identification that says it's okay for you to shoot?
I just bring my license to carry,
Okay, all right,
which is just renewed.
yeah, all right.
License to carry, restrictions none.
All right. The Attorney General of Rhode Island, Peter Nerona, he's reacting to the U.S. Supreme Court's denial of a bid to overturn Rhode Island's ban on high-capacity gun magazines. Nerona says he's grateful for the ruling, adding that his office was always fought to ensure that there are common-sense gun laws on the books to keep Rhode Islanders safe. Nerona says the Supreme Court's decision to allow his office to continue that mission without interruption. Okay. So what does that mean?
I was just going to say, what does that mean? That I don't talk lawyer. What does that mean? Yeah.
The Rhode Island had a ban on high-capacity gun magazines.
Yeah.
And someone was trying to overturn it, and the Supreme Court said, no, you can't. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember it backwards.
Yeah.
Most guns come with a 10-round magazine.
Right.
But, like for an AR-15 or an AK-47 or any of those where they're semi-automatic and you're usually shooting quite a bit with them, you can have a 20 or 30 or even a 50-round magazine.
Okay.
So they didn't want those. They want to at least slow you down from shooting, I mean, those bills don't apply to somebody like me who don't go around trying to kill people.
Right.
They're made for somebody who's a little bit not quite on center.
We shouldn't have a gun anyways.
Exactly. They
begin with.
should find a way to make sure that
Exactly.
this person
They do
doesn't
not
get
have
a
a gun,
rather than
period.
penalize
Right,
everyone who knows what
exactly.
they're doing and are careful.
Yeah.
Exactly. Somebody going to the range like you, or even the people that hunt, they're responsible people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the law is still the same, but it used to be like, for rifles and stuff, they had to be in the carrying and not like within the car. It was in the trunk or something like that.
Yeah,
So
well, it's in the trunk.
when it's being transported from point A to point B.
Yeah, and it
So
has to
I
be
mean,
separate
there
from,
are safety things that were already there in place.
the gun has to be in a separate location
Separate
from the ammunition.
from the ammunition, right? That type
So
of
you
thing.
can't transport your gun from the house to the shooting range with the gun loaded?
No.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure
But
I get
see,
it all
there are
straight.
still things there are already things in place.
Yeah.
For people that have a license to carry or that have taken the courses to even own a gun.
Yeah.
But it's the ones that don't pass those things
Well, right.
that we need to be concerned with.
Well,
Yeah.
I may have said this
Yeah.
in the past.
Yeah.
Watched a lot of episodes of Northwoods Law up there in Maine and in New Hampshire, and it's illegal to hunt from inside your vehicle.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why can't you stay in
know.
your? I don't know
don't
because
hunt.
they just assume. Well, all hunters should know this up in Maine and New Hampshire
Yeah.
that you can't stay in your
Well, I think
truck and shoot out the window. And I don't know.
any
I said,
responsible hunter wouldn't do that.
I know,
Anyway,
but they
right,
are
yeah.
showing people actually
Right,
doing
and-
it
Yeah.
and getting arrested for it. I
Yeah,
said, well,
well-
I don't know what the reasoning is
Yeah.
behind it. It's got to be a safety issue of some sort, but I just don't know what it is.
I
And
don't
you
know.
You don't know?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's
I got to
hard.
stop
Like I
asking
said,
you
I
that
don't.
question.
I don't hunt. So
You don't hunt, so
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, break time.
I
Once
go to the
again.
supermarket to buy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, break time here on Coffee and More coming your way. It's time for the forecast right now, which is being brought to you by Unbound.org.
Sunny skies today with a high near 80 degrees and a calm wind. Tonight, mostly clear, overnight low of 53, calm wind. Wednesday, sunshine and 85. Thursday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 89. Friday, partly sunny and 84. Saturday, a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms, possibly after 2 o'clock. Cloudy skies, 75 degrees. Sunday, partly sunny and 74. And next Monday, mostly cloudy, high near 76.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we have sunny skies and 59 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor, an elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own at unbound.org.
Congratulations, grads, and wishes for a bright future from Navigant Credit Union. Navigant's committed to the financial well-being of the families, businesses, and communities they serve, and they're proud to support students through scholarships and financial education programs. They also invest in the latest technologies and tools to make managing your finances a little easier. To open an account, call 233-4700 or find one of their conveniently located branches all over Rhode Island or online at navigantcu.org. Navigant Credit Union, where our customers are our owners are our customers. Navigant.
Hey there, Blackstone Valley. The Valley Breeze is bringing back the Voices of the Valley Awards, and we want you to be a part of it. Who's got the best burger? The coolest hidden gem in town? You decide. Nominate and vote for your local favorites and help crown the best businesses, people, and places in this exciting community competition. Visit voicesofthevalley.net to learn more and vote daily for a chance to win cash prizes. That's voicesofthevalley.net.
ON Radio.
It's Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan with Ed Carew and Linda Thibault. And just one more thing about Attorney General Peter Nerona. He was on Newsmakers over the weekend. He was asked specifically, you going to run for governor?
Of course he is.
That's not what he said, though, Linda.
I know it's not what he said.
He's thinking about it. He'll make a decision.
He's going to run. He's going to run
over the summer because he can't be Attorney General.
No
term limit on that.
Right.
So he can't be Attorney General anymore, and so he was asked who he would endorse. He hasn't endorsed anybody, but he does like if these people were to run, he would endorse either U.S. Attorney Zachary Kuna or Deputy Attorney General A.D. Goldstein. So, but for governor, and all arrows point to him running, he just has not said just yet.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Okay,
he's going to run.
Move it right along. Well, it was only a matter of time. I knew it would be coming, but once again, we have the country of Canada, or our 51st state, whichever way you want to look at it.
Oh, please stop. Stop. Stop that.
Back to that again.
The wildfires in
the
Canada is what I'm getting at. And the entire state of Minnesota was under a
air quality
alert, and it went all the way down to the Gulf, and it was affecting Florida and Georgia as well. Well, now it's finally coming east, and here it comes. It could affect Mass, could affect Rhode Island sometime this week. The jet stream is likely to carry smoke coming over the Great Lakes and the Midwest and bring it to us. Channel 5 in Boston reported the smoke could arrive here by midweek. Poor air quality can affect the health of people with respiratory conditions, lung and heart disease. Right, Linda?
Right, absolutely.
So it seems to happen every summer.
Yeah. Well, we had the California smoke coming our way.
Came our way.
Well, last fall, we had that wildfires in Massachusetts.
Right. That, yeah.
But, okay. So just if you're wondering, hey, where's the smoke coming from?
Now we know.
Now you know it's coming out of
Canada, down to the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
You mean the Gulf of Mexico?
Back up the jet stream.
Up in Massachusetts, the main beach at Walden Pond, which is in Concord, Massachusetts,
yes,
it's going to be closed all summer.
Why?
They're constructing a new bathhouse, and it poses safety concerns.
Takes a whole summer.
That's what I was thinking. It takes the whole summer.
They should build a house in about 3 weeks.
I know. I don't understand.
It's going to be one big bath.
This better be nice.
It's going to be very nice.
The State Department of Conservation and Recreation said Red Cross Beach at the pond will be open. However, there will be no lifeguards.
Well,
but they just said it in the first
It's
sentence.
going to
It's
be
gonna
closed, right?
DCR is suggesting alternate swimming sites, including Ashland State Park, Cochituate State Park, and Hopkinton State Park. These are all in Metro West, by the way. About 600,000 people visit Walden Pond State Reservation annually. So, I don't get it. Well, okay. The main beach at Walden Pond is going to be closed. Red Cross Beach at the pond will be open. So maybe there's two
Certain
different things.
sections of
Sounds
it.
like there's two beaches.
It sounds like it's
two.
two.
Yeah.
Maybe one on each
Yeah,
side.
one
Yeah.
one, yeah.
But okay, the bathhouse better be beautiful.
It better be.
You better be able to
Yeah,
eat off
yeah.
the floor. If it's
I
going to take
forgot
all
that-
summer to build this thing.
I forgot that was there because that's where I skate. I skate in Concord.
Concord?
I
Are you near
do.
Walden Pond?
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know.
going to have to check that out.
Guess so. Bring your bathing suit.
I will.
All right. I haven't watched any of it, but I know the defense opened its case in the Karen Reed trial. So now the real fun begins. That's what I said yesterday. But they did have someone on the stand yesterday because I heard it in the news and said, "Oh yeah, those bite and scratch marks on his arm on John, no, definitely a dog."
A dog.
Yeah, like Another thing makes you go, What's so that's what happened yesterday. So more of that is will be going on as well. So, all right. Are you following it at all?
Well, not really, not really. My only thing is, every now and then they'll put a picture of the victim, and I'm like,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
because can we remember what this is all about?
Yeah.
The man died. It's sometimes those folks are forgotten.
I know.
In the drama of the.
They mentioned that at the very beginning of the
Yeah,
trial.
yeah.
And both sides want to say, yeah, remember, it's really about this man dying, kind of
Yeah.
thing. But as we move along, because we're in the 7th week or whatever now. of the
Right,
trial,
that's what I mean. Then the
it's
drama of
forgotten
the
again.
courtroom
Yeah.
forgets that.
It all gets forgotten
Yeah.
after that. So okay, but I think it's on Court TV if you want to watch it. So
Yeah. Well,
if
no,
you
I
have
don't.
that,
I
do you
don't
stream
watch.
that?
It's on
Do you
Channel
watch it?
7 Boston. They
Is it?
Live?
Yeah.
All
They
the
stream it. Well, it's on the
Oh,
internet.
on the internet?
Oh,
on
right.
the
Yeah,
internet.
it's everywhere. Yeah, yeah.
You can watch the whole thing. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. I don't want to talk about ice again. It's not fun. Boston restaurant fined $1.8 million for tip pool violations. Uh-oh. A Boston restaurant is being fined almost $2 million by the state for tip pool violations. The state attorney general's office says the Japanese restaurant Zuma and their manager, Garrett Ronan, are being fined for requiring service workers to share pooled tips with their managers. Ooh, that's not right. You share it among the waitresses and the busboys.
Well,
and then sometimes
yeah,
sometimes
that's what
the
I thought. That's
cooks.
what that means, right?
Oh, they want to cut for the house.
Wow, a percentage for the house. Wow.
State law does not allow staff with managerial responsibilities to share in the tip pool. Some employees of the restaurant receive up to $50,000 in unpaid tips and penalties. Wow.
Wow.
That's a nice windfall. I wonder how much these they must have taken a lot of the tips to get up to 1.8 million.
That's a lot of tips.
Well, that's the fine. Well, that's the fine. Is
That's
$2
the
million.
fine. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it doesn't say how long this has been going on for, but I'm gonna have to ask my daughter because she
Yeah.
works at Dunkin' Donuts and she brings home tips every night. I'll have to see. None of
I
this-
thought
does
that
this
was
go to the
only like
manager?
for the people that actually, the bus boys and
Yeah.
the people that actually serve.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm hoping she's not giving a cut back to the manager. I'll have to ask her about that. So
Wow.
I don't know.
I
So
know at Stone Forge they don't.
what's that?
The
Ed?
managers and kitchen help, they don't participate in tips.
Not the kitchen, the cooks and the what about
Cooks.
dishwashers? No,
Nope, they get a bigger pay.
do they?
Yeah.
Then, but don't bus people? Don't they get the same?
They get part of it, but they're not in the back room. They're
They're
not
out
in
front.
the kitchen.
Yeah.
They're out front.
They're
yeah.
out front.
But they still
Yeah.
make the regular minimum wage, let's say, as opposed to the waiter.
I don't know
minimum
what
wage.
wage they make,
Yeah.
but we were talking
Okay.
about managers and
Right.
things like that, and I just threw in the kitchen help because I know that for a fact.
Okay.
They don't. They get a pay. The chefs
get-
must get a
they-
good
Well, especially
salary.
the chefs, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what they were doing over there in, at this restaurant in Boston.
Wow.
Wow, that's a big find.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Mr. Ronan is out of a job
Wow.
from managing that restaurant.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what other things going on. Lunenburg, Massachusetts. 66-year-old man from Ayer, Massachusetts, is accused of hurling rocks and racial slurs at a fisherman and his 10-year-old daughter in Lunenburg. I wonder why. Police say the man was fishing on Lake Shirley on Memorial Day with his daughter when David McPartlin started throwing rocks at them. McPartlin was reportedly upset that the man and child were fishing near his dock. And the victim called police once the racial slurs were starting to be used. No one was injured, so that's good. And the man, McPartlin, is charged with 4 counts of assault.
You must have been going after his fish.
It's his fish, because
His
you're near
fish,
his
yeah.
dock.
Near his dock.
Yeah.
It doesn't say if the party that was doing the fishing, if they were like, makes me wonder, are they standing too close to the dock, or are they in a boat out on the water, too close to his dock? I don't know. Some people get very possessive.
Yeah.
You know, this
That's
is
my fish
it's-
down there.
this is-
Yeah.
that's right.
My fish 50 feet away from the dock.
Yeah, right.
Only I can
Yeah.
do this, and I
I've
don't
got
know
to
you.
catch 'em.
And then,
Wow.
then you start throwing out the racial slurs, so that's not good. So, wow. Well, no one was hurt, so that's good. But it must have really upset the father. He's out there trying to have a good time with his daughter.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And now someone starts throwing rocks at you for no, and you can't retaliate, you know,
Yeah.
Unless, if you're in a boat. Anyway, you've
Yeah.
got no rocks to throw back.
No.
And splashing them with water is not going to do any good.
Oh.
All right. There is a Republican candidate for governor in Massachusetts. I'll ask Ed. Do you know his name?
No. I was afraid you'd ask me.
I thought it was.
I wouldn't have known it either.
Isn't it Kraft's son or something? No.
No, he's running for mayor.
Oh, he's running for
mayor
mayor
of Boston.
Oh, mayor. Okay.
This is for governor.
Oh.
Brian Shortsleeve is his name.
Okay.
Brian.
Try to
I mean,
remember
I've
that.
heard that name before.
Brian.
But
You've heard that name. There was a reporter on Channel 4, Joe Shortsleeve.
yes, there was.
And I think they're brothers actually, but I'm not positive on that.
Short sleeve.
Yeah. So, but he raised $417,000 for his campaign in the month of May. He's a former MBTA official. Ooh, that might be used against him.
Yeah.
And and he's a venture capitalist from Barnstable who wants to challenge Maura Healey next year. Shortsleeve says his May fundraising was the most by any conservative candidate for governor in their first month in the race.
Wow.
Shortsleeve reportedly received large donations from business executives located inside and outside of Massachusetts. And I don't think any Democrat's going to challenge Maura Healey to run for governor. Not that I've heard of. That's usually not how it works, but that's that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
How much?
$417,000 in 1 month.
That's not bad.
After only announcing his candidacy.
That's
a
quite.
month ago.
I would think that's quite good.
It goes to show how popular Maura Healey
Well, I
is.
know she gets less popular as she goes along,
Yeah, I
doesn't
know.
she?
Yes, she does.
She does.
So it seems.
Every time it seems like every time she opens up her mouth and says something.
But she came out in defense of the Milford High School teen that was
Yes.
kicked up by ICE.
Yeah,
she was
she
outraged.
was right there. Yeah.
Yeah, not happy. So.
No.
And has anybody heard? I mean, there was a federal judge that said he can't leave the state of Massachusetts for 72 hours.
Yeah.
Ed, any idea? Is he still in the state? I haven't heard a thing.
No.
Because ICE tends to. It doesn't matter what the federal judge says. ICE just does what
right.
it wants.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to take another break here in the Coffee and Program, but more is coming your way. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
ON 1240. Landmark Medical Center would like to congratulate the high school graduating class of 2025 on this momentous occasion. If you're looking for a medical care provided with integrity and compassion for all patients, choose Landmark Medical Center. They provide the high-quality care you need close to home in your own community, and they also offer emergency care when you need it most, 24 hours a day, every day. Landmark Medical Center. Quality, compassion, Community is what we're all about.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the job delivered. Large orders of lumber, doors, windows, paint, plumbing, anything the job needs, all from one partner. Get it today with same-day delivery. Get it tomorrow with next-day delivery on 50,000 plus products. Or get it on your timeline with scheduled delivery on everything from framing to flooring. It's time to get your whole job, all your jobs delivered. Ask about all our new delivery options at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
ON Radio in Woonsocket.
All right, it is Coffee In here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Ed Carew and Linda Tebow. We're just joking about how I got around swimming in the different pools at Disney World. And they don't want you to do it. It is. It's an actual rule.
Yeah.
That says, this pool's for the residents of this hotel only.
Yeah.
But no one checks ID, so where's your ID? It's in the room. I didn't bring it with me to go swimming.
This is true.
So
you are too funny.
So there we go. Yeah, this is too bad. But you got to be careful. They have these outings. I don't know if you call them outings, but they're in Africa. Where you go see the wildlife.
Like a safari.
Like a safari. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
A man staying at a luxury lodge in rural Namibia is dead, killed by a lion when he stepped outside his tent to use the bathroom. Wow. The victim was reportedly a well-known local businessman who was camping with his wife and friends. There are estimated to be less than 60 of the lions in the region, but that one found this guy. Wow.
Oh, I didn't think you slept in tents when you go on. I thought they were like in a nice
no,
lodge.
It does say the man staying at a luxury lodge was killed by a lion when he stepped outside his tent to use the bathroom. So I don't know. Maybe it was one night. Hey, let's go camp in a tent. I don't know what the decision making is.
That doesn't sound like a wise idea.
No.
I'll sleep in the lodge, then I'll get in that truck and you drive me around and we can see the animals.
I saw it was some wildlife show years ago, and they got a very large box made of steel or something impenetrable, and these two guys got into the box, and they had plenty of air and all that, and they could see outside with a little periscope like that, and they put it out in the savannah to see what would happen. Well, here come the female lions, because they do the hunting.
Yeah, they do.
And they were all over this box, growling at it. They said they were scared being inside.
Yeah.
They said, will this thing hold up? They're hitting it around, and they're roaring at it, and because they don't know what it is. No. It could be food.
Well,
maybe.
they could smell that.
Yeah, maybe they could smell
well,
from.
Of course, they can.
From there's something in there that we could eat.
Yeah.
And they tried for hours to try to open this thing, and then they got tired and went away.
Yeah.
But they had recordings from inside, and to hear the growling of the lions outside, very intimidating. It's like, wow, they only did this once.
Well, I was just going to say, and why would you want to do that?
Just to see what would happen. So we talked about the Disney just a little bit, but Universal Orlando is being sued.
What did they do?
They just had a big opening of their newest section of theme park. Has just opened. Okay.
Yeah, that was on. Yeah.
Florida man suing Universal Orlando Resort after a ride he was on malfunctioned. He was reportedly on the Harry Potter in the Forbidden Journey ride in Islands of Adventure 2 years ago when it stopped, leaving him stuck in midair for about an hour. Well, it happens.
Well, it's a forbidden journey. What do they expect?
So the suit filed last week claims he suffered injuries that resulted in pain and suffering and mental anguish.
Of course he did.
He's suing for what I think is pretty low, $50,000.
He didn't have that much anguish.
No.
Yeah.
And maybe he thinks it's so low, or maybe the lawyer thinks, I don't know. It's so low they'll just pay it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe they'll come back and say, I will give you $25K. Will you go away? Okay.
Yeah, it's a nuisance suit.
It is. Because you would think it would be in the millions.
Millions, yeah.
And it's not. So, and if he's on the ride, there are other people on the ride that get stuck as well. Are they suing?
Yeah.
Did they have mental anguish? And you hear about it happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
It always makes the news,
Yeah.
especially if you're sometimes they're hanging upside down or you're stuck
Yeah.
on the lift going up. It just stops, and now we got
Yeah.
fire department's going to come out and you get everybody down, and yeah, it's going to take a while. Yeah, you're stuck on there for an hour. Well, we got to call the fire department. They've got to get here. They've and then figure out what the problem is, and then try to get you down. So yeah, it's going to be about an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, yeah, you're in Florida and it's hot. I get it. And
Yes,
there's
it
no way to
is.
shade yourself.
No.
So
No.
some people are just looking for a quick buck, Ed.
I don't think you'll get anything.
You don't think you think they'll say no? They think they'll fight it?
I think they tell them go jump in a lake.
Wow. Okay.
Do they still
Go,
have those
go
signs?
in that lake over there.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's got these eyes sticking up. That's a good
That one,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
one, right. Do they still have signs that say "ride at your own risk," kind of a thing, like they used to in the old days?
I was
You
just
know what
there.
I
I
mean?
was just there less
And
than a
you know,
year
it's
ago.
probably worth the paint that they
some
keeps honest people honest. Yeah.
Rides like and I'm going to go with Disney, like Space Mountain
Yeah.
and Big Thunder Mountain, which is being refurbished, by the way. There are signs. Okay, if you shouldn't ride if you're pregnant,
If you
back problems, neck problems, heart disease.
Heart disease.
So all those things the lawyers
Yeah,
tell you
yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
So yes, it doesn't really say ride at your own risk.
No, but it tells you.
It tells you what you shouldn't
We've just
be.
warned you, like on a pack of cigarettes or
Something like that,
you
yeah.
know, yeah.
So
warning. So sort of, kind of.
if it's ride at your own risk, people would ride without wearing the seatbelts. Woo!
Yeah, right.
But
Yeah.
they don't let you do that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they still put up the warnings. It's
Yeah.
a high
But
speed thrill
you know,
ride.
it's a litigious world out there, and
Yeah.
someone's going to sue anyways, because they can.
The note called in 766-1240. A little bit more on the man that was killed by the lion.
Yeah.
The man that was killed by the lion probably was in the lion's territory and did not know it. Well, probably.
Well, obviously he was
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
lion's territory. I just didn't think they slept out in tents.
Um,
I thought they slept in
I would
lodges.
be up in the lodge in the big building.
in the big building with the lodge. Yeah,
On
I didn't think they slept
on
out
the
in
10th
tents.
floor that the lion
Yeah.
can't jump up to.
Yeah.
All right, so
Because of course we're infringing on their territory. Absolutely.
maybe you go
Yeah.
swimming in the ocean. And
Yeah,
you get
right.
Bit by not a shark, but by any sea creature.
Right, exactly.
Any fish.
Exactly.
You're in their home,
That's where they live.
And they didn't invite you.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's see. Authorities in Tennessee, they're looking for a runaway zebra.
Really?
The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office says the owners first got the animal on Friday and it immediately got loose. Guess the fence wasn't good enough. Deputies were forced to close down a section of Interstate 24 the next day as the zebra ran through traffic on both sides of the highway.
Oh.
As of Monday, it was reported to still be on the lam. Do you know this about zebras? I read this somewhere. The question was, you know why you never see people riding zebras bareback? You can't. They can't be broken in.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
You can't train them.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
And some people must have tried
Yeah.
at some point.
Well, you look at him and you say, "Oh, what
It's a
pretty
horse.
horse."
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not. They're a
They're
wild
not. They're-
animal.
They're completely different.
But there are wild horses.
Yeah,
and
but
there are
a-
still wild
but
horses.
A horse is a horse, of course, of
Yeah,
course.
thanks,
This
thanks,
is a
Mr. Ed.
zebra.
This is a zebra.
But eventually you could break a horse.
Sure.
But you can't break a zebra.
Yeah.
And so that's why they're having trouble, I think, capturing this thing. It's going to just keep bolting
Yeah.
from them. All right. Well, the good news is, if you're going to New York City, the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, he points to data showing trash containerization is working, and so there's fewer rat sightings in New York City.
Really?
If you put all the trash in the proper containers and seal it,
Yeah.
where the rats can't get in, they'll go someplace else looking
Okay.
for food. All right?
Theory, does it work, I guess?
Acting Sanitation Commissioner Javier Lojan says since residential container requirements first went into effect 6 months ago, the number of reported rat sightings has dropped.
Well, that's good.
The Department of Sanitation just finished installing trash bins across West Harlem, becoming the first neighborhood in North America to have all of its trash fully containerized, according to the Adams administration. Meanwhile, sanitation crews have just started using automated garbage side-loading trucks in West Harlem, with plans to expand to other parts of the city.
Well, that's
Look at the
good.
big arms coming up. And picking
Did you
things up.
notice, talking about rats, did you notice, was it in New Bedford where they had that fire in the transfer station, the rubbish?
Okay.
Did you see those rats?
No.
Well,
All running away?
No, they have run away.
Yeah.
But they look very healthy. I said, no, I'm telling you, well, no, I'm telling I
Coming
was
from a nurse.
No, I'm telling. No,
It's a
and
healthy rat.
No, the reason I'm saying that, usually in my mind, rats, they're slimy and slithery and, and live in the sewers and all
Yeah.
of this, and they're in the big cities like Boston and New York. These rats, because I think it was New Bedford, and those
right.
transfer stations where they put the rubbish and everything,
Yeah.
and they burnt down, and so now they needed a new place to go. And you see them out there, they're in the grass. They've got, I know it sounds stupid, and I'm going to say it anyways, but they have beautiful fur. They're like nice and fat.
Yeah.
They're chomping away on the grasses and everything, and I'm like, well, look at that. They look healthy.
Oh.
They've been well fed, and they're
Wow.
beautiful coats.
I want to know, can you ride them?
I don't know,
Quite
but
that
they
big.
look really good. I'm telling
Or
you.
are they
I
like
was-
zebras and you can't
yeah,
ride
yeah.
them?
No, I was telling it to my, and I said, look at them.
Yeah.
They're beautiful coats like a bunny
Well,
rabbit or something.
Some people love rats.
Well, and they have
And
pets.
keep them as pets.
They-
not the gray, ugly ones you see in the
No,
street, but they're
right,
actually
yeah.
much better
But
looking
these were
rats.
dark. They were really. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
except for the fact that they were a rat, they were.
You old dirty rat.
No, they were not dirty
Oh,
rats.
that's good.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Well, to oblige.
Yes.
The way cops have computers in their cars hooked up by radio,
Okay.
so they can do anything you can do with a computer.
So they can check the serial number of the gun?
Every cruiser in the city's got computers right there on the dashboard.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
They can see that Ed's gun is registered to you and where you live and all that and how long you've owned the gun. So, okay, that'll prove that I bought it 20 years ago. So, okay. If you're into this kind of thing, a famous haunted Raggedy Ann doll is coming to Kentucky. Annabelle, the inspiration for a doll featured in several horror movies in the Conjuring series, which is right up here in Barberville,
yeah.
will be at Scarefest in Lexington, Kentucky this fall. The event will be held October 17th to the 19th, if you like to go to these kind of things.
And where
people
is
just-
this now?
Lexington, Kentucky.
I'll pass.
Some kids are freaked out by dolls.
Well, because some dolls
All right, what
do
else?
that. They're like clowns. They can scare the kids. Yeah.
I was never afraid of dolls. No, I was
Yeah.
never afraid of clowns growing
No.
up. Nope. Clowns
Good
make
thing
you
you're not
laugh.
afraid of clowns. We got a lot of those in Washington.
I mean, with the painted faces and stuff. Those clowns scare me, though, Ed.
Yeah. My grandson didn't like clowns.
No?
He was not a fan.
Didn't want to go up and say hi?
No, he's
No.
like, I'll look at them from over there.
All right. Disney's laying off people. Speaking of Walt Disney.
Really?
Hundreds. Most in their entertainment division. So we're talking like the movies and things like
okay.
that. Division of Disney Entertainment, with corporate financial operations also being impacted. This is the fourth round of layoffs by the media giant in the past 10 months. Just under 200 employees from ABC News Group and Disney's Entertainment Network were let go in early March. The layoffs are part of an ongoing cost-cutting process. So not the people down working the parks.
Okay.
They're
Not Mickey Mouse and Minnie.
Mickey Mouse is not being laid off. Speaking of funny creeping out, one of the Mickeys down there at Disney World can close his eyes. All right, not all of them can do
No,
this.
yeah.
But if you have like a meet and greet with Mickey,
Yes,
that
I
one
did
can
that.
close
Yeah,
your
yeah,
eyes.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
freaks my daughter out.
Oh, really?
That
yeah.
he can do this.
He can
'cause
do that. Yeah.
It's a mechanical head. It should not be able to do that.
Yeah.
So that kind of
Yeah.
wigs her out.
Yeah. There
When
you
it
go.
comes to, and she doesn't like mascots in general. So
No?
she thinks mascots are weird. She doesn't even like the one at her college.
What is the one in her car?
It's a bear.
It's a bear.
Yeah, it's the Bridgewater State Bears.
Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Bears.
And so
Okay.
I go, you know, it's probably because of the size. You know, it's a girl in there that's in the
Yeah.
costume. It's nothing to be afraid of.
No. Yeah.
But the worst ones are regular body, really big head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like the Friars have
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
she doesn't like
Well,
that
the
either.
Patriots do.
And,
Patriot,
and Pat Patriot,
Pat
is,
Patriot,
is
yeah.
like that as well. All right, that'll do it for the show for today. We'll end on Pat Patriot right there.
Yeah.
And David Andrews retired from the
Yes,
Patriots
yes,
yesterday.
yes.
That was
Very
yesterday.
touching.
Very,
and
yeah.
very
But
sad.
started his career with the Patriots, ended with the Patriots. It's so rare
Stayed
that
there.
it happens. Stayed there for his entire career.
He stayed there the
So
whole career.
He'll be in the Patriots Hall of Fame in a couple of years.
He should
think,
be.
I think so.
Yeah. Plus, he's a nice. I think he's a nice man.
And he was
too.
a great player as well.
Yeah.
All right, Ed Crew, thanks for coming in.
Yes, thank you. You're welcome. And by the way, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch starts again tonight for the new season.
Oh, great.
On the
what
History Channel.
On the History Channel?
Yes.
I'll be sure
There's
to...
my public service announcement
Okay.
to all the fans of Secret of Skinwalker Ranch.
All right, great. Linda, thanks for coming in today.
My pleasure as always.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great day. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do remember, coming up after the 9 o'clock news, and I'll talk to you this afternoon at 2.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now,